So here's the point that I'm going to get to is it's not about the information, guys. Um, I get a lot of people that kind of just don't get it. And they come to me saying, oh, I just want information on what you're doing, or I just want information on what this offers. I just want information on blah, 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 blah. And I get what they're trying to say, but what they're saying makes me crazy because it's not about the information. You know, I just want to slap people in the face sometimes because it's not about the information. And people think that if they have more information, that's gonna change. But I invite you to ask yourselves, like, what has all the information that you've accumulated so far done for you overall? Of course, you're going to get little tidbits and gems and things like that. But really, what is a common denominator of what has made transformations? Was it the information itself, or was it you? Now, I'm going to guess that it was you. If you are seeking information, thinking that information is going to solve your problem, information is not the solution, right? Information is just one step of kind of a three-step process. You find the information, you consume the information. So consuming is one, and that's usually where people just stop. They consume the information and then they move on as if they hadn't even checked the information out. They just want to register. They just want to put it into another drawer that's already full in their head and hope that they can recall this information sometime later. And that's just not how it works. There's no silver bullet answer. And I think that's the thing that people are searching for. You know, they go through, I've made tons and tons and tons of information, courses, templates, tools, instruments, right? And I stand behind all that stuff, by the way. It's all available in the Producer's Playground. It's $25 a month. And there's a lot of value there. But the problem is people come in thinking that it's not a community. It's just a place to devour as much information as quickly as possible for as cheap as possible and getting the fuck out of there, you know, instead of embracing the idea that transformation is a much different animal. You know, first off, transformation comes from focusing on a small piece of information and really ingesting it, right? Putting it into practice. If you're not putting information into practice, then you're missing the whole point of bringing in information. So why are you continuing to force feed yourself with information when you haven't put the last information you had to use, right? Why do you keep insisting that there's some silver fucking bullet plugin that's going to change everything? All of a sudden your productions are going to be amazing. Your mixes are going to be fantastic. Everyone's going to notice how great your mixes are because you bought this $300 compressor. No one's going to fucking know. It's no different between whether you are using a $400 compressor or a stock compressor right inside of Ableton. You know what I mean? There's no difference because if you're not already finishing songs, the subtle differences between those tools don't fucking matter. And plus, that's just another tool that you are refusing to teach yourself how to use. If you taught yourself how to use the stock plugins, you'd need much fewer tools. And although tools are great and tools make you feel like they can sometimes make you feel inspired, but why are you feeling a lack of inspiration? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Why is there a lack of inspiration in the beginning? You got all the tools that you could possibly need. You got more tools than anyone in any other period of musical time to work with. And you're going to say that you don't have enough. You're going to say that's the reason you're not finishing songs. That's kind of silly, isn't it? Like when you actually think about that, isn't that like freaking ridiculous? Don't you want to slap yourself a little bit, or at least slap the friend who, you know, because obviously it's not you who thinks this way, but your friend does, and I'm sure you want to slap that guy, right? So guys like me aren't the solution. At the end of the day, you are the solution. The information isn't the solution. The information is simply a shortcut So you still have to put in the fucking work, but you know what to focus your attention on, one thing at a time, right? The big issue with me sharing tons of information with people is they don't do it that way. What they do is they scour all the information. They binge everything they can. They watch everything one time. And then they go the next day. Binge more information. Watch everything one time. Don't use any of the tools. Don't practice any of the actual mindset practices at all. So their head's already in a fucked up place that's not really conducive to learning, to improving, to transforming, right? So you got to clear that shit out of your head. You got to clear away the addiction, because the addiction replaces, how do I put it? Information is like a drug. When you take the drug, you're satisfied. When you're satisfied, you sit on your ass feeling good about yourself, not doing any work. And then you wonder at the end of it all why you're not finishing songs, or why you're not finishing songs to the level that you want to. Kind of ridiculous. So guys like me, I'm not the solution, right? There's no amount of money that you can throw at me that's going to allow you to skip the step of actually doing the fucking work, right? In any part of your life, if you pay someone money for something, you're paying to maybe simplify a process or clarify a process. You're not paying someone to remove your responsibility to actually go through the process, right? And if you're not motivated enough, if you're not ready to do the work, then you probably shouldn't be making any investments. You should probably be taking on another hobby until you actually are ready to do this. But instead, what most people do is they get frustrated with their music and they think the solution is to go and buy something right away. Usually it's a tool, because no one wants to buy information. No one wants to pay a guy like me, right? No one does. I don't want to. You're not paying me because you want to give me money. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you vibe with me really good and you're like, I want to throw money at this guy. That's great. I will take it all. I accept that. But for the most part, I am a middleman between your goals and your results, right? That's what I am. I can help you get there faster. I can guide you. I can show you the workouts, take you to the gym. But at the end of the day, if you're not the one lifting the weights, it doesn't matter how much money you throw at me. Does that make sense? So I think that is something that I really hope kind of gets through your head, that what you first want to do is kind of first recognize the addiction that you have to information, and then change your relationship that you have with that addiction and replace it with something more constructive. Doing the work is more frustrating unless you do the work consistently. And as you do it consistently, then your brain will naturally just be able to do these things that used to be hard without even thinking about it. You know, it would take me ages to figure out how to structure songs and stuff like that in the beginning. Now, I can have most of it started in about 15, 20 minutes, right? Starting with a loop, cool idea, turn it into an arrangement, about 20 minutes. But that didn't just come. That took a lot of practice. It took a lot of trial and error. It took me studying the craft and understanding and reverse engineering and having conversations and being part of communities of people that were getting this stuff done. So being around that vibe, that's important, I think. I think a lot of people miss the idea. Everyone wants to be their own island. Everyone wants to say, I did this myself and no one helped me. It's all me. And when you go into communities, a lot of people just troll on the outside. They don't get involved, and they wonder why the results aren't happening. It's because the people that get involved are actually allowing the vibe of other people that are already doing stuff that you want to be able to do to become part of your vibe. I mean, that's just the way it happens, right? If you're surrounding yourself with a community. So stop thinking all the time that it's this specific information that is making the transformation. What's making the transformation is, one, that you actually made a decision to invest in yourself. That in itself is a transformation. Your mind starts working differently just because you took that action. Now, that could either dwindle quickly or it can scale you up depending on how you approach the information and how you approach your habits and how you approach understanding your addiction so that you put that energy into something different. And that's how you start getting good. It's not by chasing someone's style of music until that style of music is no longer relevant. All of a sudden you're an expert on a type of music that's no longer relevant. Isn't it better to just do your thing and allow influences to come from all over the place, like the guys behind me, right? Allow those influences to come in, but do your thing. And also pull in, different influences and stuff like that. But do not chase an artist and try to figure out exactly how they made this bass sound or that thing or blah, blah, blah. Because pretty soon, by the time you become an expert at that, it's going to be irrelevant. Music evolves. And the people that make it, or quote, make it in music, are the ones that are coming up with something new or a new angle or a new approach. So if you're trying to get famous in the same way that a guy got famous 5 years ago, you're going to run into a lot of problems because it's an evolution. The reason people get popular is because they're expressing something in a new way that connects with people. I hope that makes sense.